Namaste and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about China's imminent collapse. And why am I saying that? You have to wait until the end of the video about all the reasons why this is happening, why this is collapse, why am I saying that it is going to collapse, and what is this purges? What's happening with this? Politicians, military people, military leaders, even the regular people, government employees, they all are getting purged in China. Something big is happening. So let's delve upon the reason why this is happening. One of the reasons that I am doing this video is that a few days back there was this news about one of the high-ranking generals of CMC, which is Chinese Military Commission. His name was Zheng Yuji. He got purged, and this is not the first time that's happening. It has happened before as well, many purges, but this is the latest one. And I thought that we should be talking about this and see what's happening. So let's start with the basics. Over the last few months, China has quietly removed like a top generals, as I said, from CMC. CMC is basically the brain of Chinese military. If PLA, People's Liberation Army, is the muscle, then CMC is the brain. Now they're firing and purging people from the Chinese military's most sensitive part, which is CMC. Now, along with senior generals, there is a defense minister that got fired or slash purged. If you remember, people, if you remember, like it happened last year, it was a big thing. Everybody was talking about it. So, defense minister, that's a big thing, right? And the key people in his rocket force. Now, rocket force, we're going to talk about that. This is a very interesting force. So he fired people from there as well. And there are multiple officials that were connected with missile and nuclear programs of China also got purged. So it's left, right, and center. This guy is purging everybody. Something is going on, and it's like China is becoming unpredictable. That's what I feel now. Why is Xi Jinping doing all this? One of the major reasons, as per my research, is corruption crackdown. Corruption crackdown. It's also a nice way of telling people that, hey, people were like corrupted and they were thieves and we are trying to like deal with the thieves. But in that corruption, uh, uh, camouflage, you can do a lot of things. So that's what I feel it is. But let's just go with my research. There's some really interesting things that I'm looking at here. Now, Chinese military has some issues. Their procurement is notoriously opaque. Means when they're trying to buy something, just like I think it's also many militaries, especially the left leaning socialists like Russians and Koreans and Chinese, these people, they're very opaque with what they're doing with military. We won't really know about that. So that's one thing. And some of the reports, it suggests that the corruption has actually seen big time around like nuclear programs, missile programs, shipbuilding, weapons, development, all of that stuff, right? And there are like fake weapons, and faulty missile components, inflated budgets. They say we need like 5 billion, and end up being a lot many other billions, more. And um, sorry about that. And one of the main thing is also second one, along with the corruption crackdown. I think it's there is also a loyalty component here. A loyalty. These dictators are very scared of anybody who becomes a little bit popular or anybody who becomes a little bit stronger. They can't digest that kind of facts or that kind of reality where somebody else is also a little bit popular. They have to step in and snuff it out, pretty much. So that's what it is like. It's about the loyalty as well. So if you look at it, Xi has been consolidating his power since like 14 years. He's been here since 14 years, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to like make himself president for life, right? And he does not even only wants the strong military. Strong military is one thing, but then he more than strong military, he wants the loyal military. That's what happens with the, that's also the problem with the with Saudi Arabia. The reason Saudi Arabia is very, very weak militarily, it's because it's a ruling family. The Saudi royal family is scared of a strong military, so they are deliberately keeping this military weak, just like China is doing. China was doing that, but now like they're like, building up, and they're strong now because they want to fight their enemies. But it's more than that, right? It's the loyalty, not the strength. Strength comes later, but loyalty comes first. Anyway, so there is also like this shrinking population. Oh my god, like along with loyalty, like that thing. Oh, another thing is China's strategic anxiety. Strategic anxiety is a big thing, man. Like these countries and the and the dictators, they can do some blunderous things if they have anxiety about anything. And that's also one of the things I feel it is. It's the anxiety, it's about the strategic anxiety, right? Like they're being encircled. And if you look at the whole Chinese Pacific side, they have like three chains, like the island chains, which are kind of like caging them around Chinese Sea as well. They can't go out, so they're antsy about that, right? Shrinking population. Can you imagine? Since 2017, birth rate in China has plummeted 70%. It's unheard of. 70%, man. It's not even a joke, right? Along with that, I am also hearing a huge population miscalculation, or like, over counting of the population, right? It's running in hundreds of millions of people. So right now, what we're seeing is like China being 1.4 billion people, 1.5 billion people. They may not be actually 1.4, 1.5. As per many reports, they may be like 800 million or 900 million people, not 1. So it's like millions upon millions of people are like overcounted. So that's also one other thing. We have to keep this in mind. And rising youth employment, unemployed youth, man. Chinese people are like tired. Chinese guys are tired. They don't want to work anymore. They just want to be left alone. And that is also one of the things where Chinese Communist Party does not want. Another thing is like this rocket force that we were talking about in the beginning. This is the most sensitive unit of Chinese military, most sensitive, because it's in uh, uh, it looks after, or under its command, are nuclear weapons, long-range missiles, anti-ship ballistic missiles, hypersonic weapons. Everything comes under Chinese rocket force. And that guy who got fired just now, he's a Chinese rocket force guy, if I'm not mistaken. And this particular thing, Chinese rocket force, is, you can say, it's like a crown jewel of Chinese military, right? And if the crown jewel is so such in in such a bad shape, only God can help them after. So that's one thing. Another thing is major corruption scandals and technical failures. These are the two like, one other thing is major corruption scandals and technical failures, and another is fear of internal factions. Can you imagine? Like they're saying that that they're afraid that the rocket force will go extremely powerful, and it will become a political force of its own. I don't get it how military would do, but like that's what the thinking is. There are many people, like the Chinese experts, Chinese the people who are out of China, but they're talking about China. They all are saying these things, that a rocket force can become a political force. Things can happen in opaque societies, communist societies. So that's that. One of the things is, one of the questions that we should be asking is like, what does all these things mean for China and mean for Xi Jinping? It basically looks like Xi Jinping is more isolated than ever. The man's getting cornered pretty much, right? So that's why he's removing people. He's putting his own people first, he's putting his own people and then firing them and purging them as well, when he thinks that, oh, they may turn out to be threats and stuff like that. So it's like it's a vicious cycle in itself, right? Like you're putting people and then you're bringing them out and purging them. It shows that how untrustworthy as a person you are, right, deep down. Another thing is like Chinese military's modernization may be slowed down maybe slower than expected. So corruption is widespread, right? If missiles are unreliable, if procurement is broken, then Chinese military is not ready for the conflict. We think that they are, but I don't think. But in reality, they may not be, right? So one of the, and one of the another things are like risk of miscalculation increases manifold, right? So when the systems become opaque, pretty much, when the information is filtered out, like classic communism, when the leaders only hear what they want to hear and not what they should be hearing, the chances of strategic miscalculation and the blunders go up a lot. So that's a dangerous thing for everybody, I would say, and we all need to be worried about this pretty much. We don't want China to implode. What's the global implication of this? So US and its allies will reassess China's capabilities. Like Washington, Tokyo, New Delhi, they all are watching this very closely. And if China's military is weaker than expected, the strategic planning of all these countries would change as per. Right now, it's planned in a way where we see China as a formidable force. But if it's not, then the calculations will be changing. A lot of changes can happen very quickly. Um, then another thing is Taiwan timeline becomes very uncertain. Taiwan, man, Taiwan. So Taiwan is basically obsession of China, and one reason I feel that they will go down one day is because of Taiwan. Now, some analysts argue that Xi might delay any move on Taiwan. Others argue he may accelerate before it gets worse internally for him. I feel it's the second one. It may accelerate because he doesn't want to go too bad and then you can't do anything. So it's better that you just move first, right? So that's one thing. Another is China's diplomacy will get more aggressive, which we are looking at. When domestic problems rise up, the external nationalism becomes a tool. Again, this is the ancient way of doing things, right? Like when the country is in turmoil internally, they would look outside externally and create an enemy if there is not one, and make wars outside. When that happens, country unites and country consolidates, and that's what China may be doing too. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if China would end up, making wars because it's too weak from inside, right? And the purges, frankly, I feel that these purges are on the level where Mao and Hitler and Stalin used to do the purges, right? It's on that level, so it's very scary for a Chinese, especially in China, right? And if you're in military, then you're very very scared all the time. Um, so, what's the conclusion? What happens next? Basically, it says that China is entering the period of internal uncertainty, which is right. Like it's been happening for so long. I have been reading about this since last 10 years, where things are not working for China as they should, and uh, uh, they're covering up that stuff, and now more and more things are coming out. So uh, internal uncertainty is definitely one of the things. Um, a purge of this scale doesn't happen in a stable system, which is right. Like I absolutely feel that the purges only happens in unstable countries, unstable systems, pretty much. Xi Jinping is trying to like tighten the control, right? And in doing so, he's weakening his military and he's weakening his political structure. um, the world should actually pay attention to this now, uh, because as I said earlier, like when the big powers become unpredictable, the global consequences can be enormous. They can be big time. And so that's one of the things. Now what I feel is a Chinese game is a long game. It's not going to be so easy and so quick, but what we are seeing is is a collapse of China, gradual collapse of China. So yeah, it's a very, very interesting situation. If you like this video, and if you feel that you want to comment, please comment. I mean, say anything, that's okay. Comment, like, subscribe, everything that we all do, please do. And please support this channel. Thank you very much. Until the next time.